Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Learn English with Fatima. Today, I'm going to talk about the past simple tense. I'm going to teach you the basics of the past simple tense, how to use the past simple tense as a negative, how to ask questions in the past simple tense, and how to use the past simple continuous tense. The past simple tense is used for an event in the past that is completed and we know when it happened. It is the most common use of the past tense in English. For regular verbs, it's actually very easy. For I, you, she, he, it, we, they, we use the verb plus ed at the end. Here are some examples. They walked to school yesterday. She talked to him last week. We watched a movie on Saturday. You can see that the verb is the same if we use they, she, we, or any of the other subjects. The past simple of to be is an irregular verb. That means it doesn't follow the ed rule. So for I, she, he, and it, we say was. For you, we, and they, we say were. Here are some examples. I was at home. He was a teacher. You were at the movies. We were at school. Be careful. With the past tense, there are many irregular verbs that don't follow the ed rule. Let's go over the most common ones. These verbs, do, go, have, see, and come, all don't follow the ed rule. Let's see how we use them in the past simple tense. In the past, do becomes did. You did the dishes yesterday. Go becomes went. We went to school at 9. Have becomes had. She had salad for lunch. See becomes saw. I saw a bird outside. Come becomes came. They came home late. Do you want a few more? Run becomes ran. Eat becomes ate. Drink becomes drank. Write becomes wrote. Sit becomes sat. Stand becomes stood. Sleep becomes slept. As you can see, there are a lot of irregular verbs in the past tense. And how to use the past simple tense as a negative. I am going to go over the rules of past simple negatives and the rules of to be in the past simple negative. That the past tense of do is did. We use did in the past simple negative in front of the verb. We add not to the end of did to make it negative. So we say did not. We can also shorten this to didn't. Let's look at this sentence as an example. I did not walk home. I didn't walk home. You see, we added did and not before the verb walk. The verb walk stays in its base form. We do not change it to past tense. So instead of walked, we say walk. I did not walk home. I didn't walk home. Here's another example. We did not see her. We didn't see her. Again, see is in its base form. It's not in the past tense. For the verb to be, you may remember that we use was and were in the past tense. So for I, she, he, and it, we use was. For you, we, and they, we use were. To make the sentence negative in the past simple tense, we add not. So we say was not or wasn't. Or we say were not or weren't. I was not at school. I wasn't at school. The dogs were not inside. The dogs weren't inside. How to ask questions in the past simple tense. Here's a basic statement in the past simple tense. John studied for school. How would we make this statement a question? To make statements into questions in the past simple tense, we change the past tense of the verb, here it is studied, into its base form. So instead of studied, we have study. Then we add the word did to the beginning of the statement. So this makes, did John study for school? If you're looking for the formula, it would be the word did plus the subject plus the verb in its base form plus the object plus a question mark. What about the statement, you ate my sandwich? How would we make this a question? Did you eat my sandwich? Remember that the present tense of ate is eat, and we added did to the beginning of the sentence. In English, here are our common question words. We use who for people, what for things, when for time, where for places, why for the reason, and how for more facts. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. We use the question words at the beginning of the sentence before did. So if I asked, did you go to the movies? I could then ask, who did you go with? What did you see? When did it start? Where did you sit? How did you like it? If I want to ask questions in the past simple tense with the verb to be, it looks a little different. Here is a statement in the past tense. They were late. I just switch were and they to make a question. Were they late? The were goes at the beginning of the question. Let's do another example. She was asleep. How would I make this a question? We switch the she and the was. She was asleep becomes was she asleep? Here are some past simple questions with the verb to be with question words at the beginning. What was the book about? Who was at the park? When were we there? How was the run? The past simple continuous tense. We use the past continuous tense to talk about an action that was happening in the past. For example, she was reading. She was reading is a past continuous sentence. We put the subject first. Here it's she. We put was or were, which is the past tense of the verb be, after the subject. And then we put a verb ending in ing to make it continuous. She was reading. Here's another example. We were running. The subject is we. We had were, which is the past tense of be for the subject we. And we have our ing verb, which is running. We were running. Most of the time in English, we use the past continuous with the past simple in one sentence. The past continuous is an action that is happening in the background, such as I was writing, and the past simple is an action that interrupts that past continuous action, like when the music started. So to make one sentence, we would say, I was writing when the music started. Going back to our other past continuous sentence, we were running, if we add the past simple sentence to it, when it started to rain, we have we were running when it started to rain. Or if we go back to our first sentence, she was reading, we can add past simple to that to make she was reading when I came home. Here's one more example. I was eating when the phone rang. We can also use the past continuous to make a question. First, we would start with the past simple. I saw you at the park. Who were you talking to? To answer, we can combine the past continuous with the past simple to say, I was talking to our teacher when you saw me at the park. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. Shukran. Bye.